BCA 101, and I'm redoing the graphics video update. So this one is actually being done in the fall of 2014. Alright, let's get started. We start off with talking about graphics, charts, images, graphics, charts, and images. And we've already done this. We've taken an image and we've embedded that. Sometimes that's referred to as an object. And we have embedded that into word processing. So we've taken that, put it in a word processor to better explain, clarify, identify all kinds of reasons that we do that. In spreadsheets, we work with what we refer to as charts. You might have, so now in spreadsheets, we're going to be working with maybe a line graph showing maybe the stock market. You could have a bar graph showing maybe people's different salaries, or maybe a pie chart in which we compare to the whole. We have so many values and certain percentage of a certain value, like a budget. You have so much the budget goes to this item or this item here, so we compare to a whole. Here we're using bars to compare distinct things, like like we are comparing a certain pay for certain people or whatever. And here, a line, this would be like stock market or following the temperature over a period of time. Okay? And so then we can use these to represent data, as an example. And why do we do that? Well, usually it's much easier to see the data, or to compare the data, or to get a quick glance in order to make a decision. And we use spreadsheets a lot to analyze data in order to make decisions. Same thing in word processing. You could take this chart and put it in a word processing document, and then you could take that document and publish it out on the web in order to convey some information to people. Alright, so that's a little bit of a definition. A digital image means it's been digitized. It is made up of ones and zeros. The more ones and zeros, the better the image is going to be. So we digitize images. Okay. How do we digitize images? Well, we can use digital cameras, and we can use some type of scanners. For example, a smartphone and a tablet has a digital camera. We have also a video camera in which we can take video, and we have actual digital cameras. Video cameras most of the time will take a digital picture for you. They not only will do video, but they'll allow you to snap a digital picture. Digital camera obviously takes digital pictures. And you can look up the specifics on those. Scanners, we have a wide range of scanners, but we do have a scanner that could create or digitize something. We have scanners that can create a PDF file. And then there's a whole range of scanners for inputting information as far as reading barcodes and so forth. So we can use a scanner, and there's a wide range of different types of scanners in order to digitize. So we take something and we create ones and zeros to represent a particular picture. And then there's a wide range of formats for that. Could be a JPEG, it could be a TIFF, could be a bitmap. So there's different formats used to represent those pictures. I've only listed a few. There are tons of them out there. How do we manage digital imagers? Well, we can use image editors, and the first one we talk about are raster graphics. Raster graphics are bit mapped. They use bits to represent them. The same thing we have been talking about with all of this. All of this here, here, digitizing. We use bits to represent the graphic. And so we get a term here, pixels, picture elements. How many bits do we use to represent a picture? The more, the better the picture is going to be. And then we have image editing software. A simple one on most Microsoft machines, something called Paint. And then there are other ones out there. A more sophisticated one would be Adobe has a package called Photoshop. In fact, they have this whole series of packages in which you can use it to manipulate images. So when you hear the term, they photoshopped them in, they're using some advanced image editor, and typically it's to edit raster graphics. Graphics made up of bits, bit mapped. Now, a whole nother type, and I'll use a different color here, illustration graphics. These are called vector graphics. And what they use there is they use points and curves and algorithms to create an image. The advantage of this is you can resize, resize the image. You can make it bigger or make it smaller, and the quality remains the same. What happens when you resize a bitmap? If you make it bigger, what happens to the quality of it? And quality goes down. Quality goes down if you make it bigger. And some of you might have experienced that. Typically you can make it smaller, but it's hard to manipulate. So an example of vector graphics, a lot of people do, companies do their logo in a vector graphics software. So then if they need to use the logo on a small place on a web page, it looks fine. They need to do a billboard outside their company, they can make that logo huge, put it on the billboard, and it still looks perfect. Because all of the algorithm rechanges all these curves and points and so forth. If you're going to take a picture of somebody and manipulate it, that would all be here. If you're going to create a logo, a diagram, blueprints, all kinds of things, that would fit more here. How do we share images electronically? Is huge. There's all kinds of online services in which you can share your pictures, along with using social media to share your pictures. Print is still also very popular for sharing pictures. You could print them out. If you're going to print, you have to be aware of how many dots per inch, the quality of how many dots per square inch that you're going to use. The more dots, the better the quality, depending on the quality of the image coming in. Okay. Last thing we'll mention a couple comments about. Usage of digital images. Well, people take pictures of their old piano and maybe put it on Craigslist or sell things on eBay. All kinds of family use of images now electronically. You know, people sharing, children growing up, new house, you know, all kinds of things in terms of family. Social media is very popular about what images you put on there. Obviously historical reasons, all kinds of reasons in the world to use images. You know, a picture sometimes will tell the story so much better than words. Desktop publishing, there's software that makes it easy to manage putting images and text together. Make nice columns and how you put the images in, the layout, you know, the layout of what it's going to look like, and then you fill in the images, you fill in the text, and it looks good. Last thing, performance issues with images, size of files. The better the quality of the picture, the bigger the file is going to be. The bigger the file is, the more issues you might have with performance, because that has to be brought in the memory and use up part of memory, and those bits have to be moved around. And if you have lots of bits in order to get a good image, it may affect the performance of your computer. That's enough for now.